I think maybe the biggest ever. There's never been anything like it. You know, when Sean says irreplaceable, he really means it too. He's irreplaceable.
What did he share with you
I'm
after
curious,
the election on November 3rd?
Mr. President.
Yes, go ahead, Harris.
I'm curious to know if he gave you a note or two, or if he had some advice for you at any point along the way.
So he was, again, it was very early because, you know, that famous escalator ride was the very beginning. And he was one of the people that said we were going to win. He thought we were going to win. I don't think it was necessarily the reason he was.
I think one of the best parts about a moving tribute to Rush Limbaugh, who fucking died, being 11 minutes long on Fox News, is Donald Trump just talking about himself the entire time. Like, there was, like, not only did we not talk about Rush Limbaugh, which is, of course, why the fuck would we? But he even admitted that he doesn't fucking know him at all. And even talked about how he wasn't even a fucking fan of him, or, Rush might not have been a fan of his, but, I like him because he likes me. I like guys that like me, I got that good quality, which is fucking awesome. Just, this is what he deserves.
He loved this country. He loved the country. He loved his wife and his family. And he loved his fans, his audience, which was, I think, maybe the biggest ever. There's never been anything like it. You know, when Sean says irreplaceable, he really means it too. He's irreplaceable.
What did he share with you after the election on November 3rd?
Mr. President.
Yes, go ahead, Harris.
I'm curious to know if he gave you a note or two, or if he had some advice for you at any point along the way.
So he was, again, it was very early because, you know, that famous escalator ride was the very beginning. And he was one of the people that said we were going to win. He thought we were going to win. I don't think it was necessarily the reason he was so, gracious so early. But he thought we were going to win. He just had an incredible instinct for politics.
It's so great. Donald Trump is such a fucking narcissist that he is physically incapable. He is physically incapable of, like, remembering someone without making it about himself. Like, it's hard for him to be like, here are some good things that this person did. Now, Rush Limbaugh didn't do a lot of good things. He just did mostly bad things. But in Trump's worldview, he should be able to at least find some stuff. I mean, Delayed Autistic Guppy in my chat did a better job of, like, trying to show a redeeming side of Rush Limbaugh by saying he donated $300,000 every year to lymphoma research. Okay? Like, we got motherfuckers in here doing a better job remembering Rush Limbaugh's positives. Okay? If there was ever such a thing. Then Donald fucking Trump, who's like, hey, I like him because he liked me. I went down the escalator. Remember, the escalator was gold. How good was that? Hillary Clinton, what about her emails? Come on, I'm running for 2024.
And he had an incredible instinct for life. I mean, he was just, so I walked into a room and there's a lot of people in the room and they're all very sad to see people that you wouldn't even think about, like with respect to Rush, but they're very sad to see that Rush passed away. He is a legend. He really is. There aren't too many legends around, but he is a legend. And to those people that listen to him every day, like, it was like a religious experience for a lot of people. I mean, his fans, they just wouldn't miss him. A very, very unique person.
Yeah. And we want to get right to.
So, we're hitting the final chapter of Rush Limbaugh's pathetic and horrific fucking monstrous experience of a life. And the last thing I'm going to say is for people who are really sad that I'm being a sad man by celebrating this moment. Yeah, I know I was gonna fucking do it for 20 minutes and it's like 2 hours and I'm still talking about this because, like, come on, he was a legendary, iconic piece of shit. Okay, I mean, sorry. Like, again, I repeat myself often during this segment, but this motherfucker is like part of the reason, or was part of the fucking reason that your grandparents are so racist. Okay, Anyway, so here's a thread of Rush Limbaugh being shitty about the deaths of other people. He said, what about Robin Williams? Rush Limbaugh says Robin Williams killed himself because leftists are never happy. Rush Limbaugh, we're supposed to feel sorry for Biden because his wife and children died. Rush Limbaugh says Trayvon Martin's murderer just got a little overzealous. U.S. Conservative Talk Radio, little fondness for the Kennedy legacy. Not specifically about the deceased, just to remember what kind of... Oh, yeah, okay. Limbaugh accuses Fox of exaggerating Parkinson's symptoms for Michael J. Fox. Yeah. Oh, he said this about Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain was, ladies and gentlemen, he was a worthless shred of human debris. He mocked people dying of AIDS. Here it is. He used to do an AIDS update. Limbaugh's career in radio began when he was in high school in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, where he was a rock and roll disc jockey. After high school, he attended college for 1 year and then quit. He became a radio DJ again and was fired from 2 stations in Pittsburgh and 2 in Kansas City. His career floundered until he became the replacement talk show host for Morton Downey in Sacramento in 1984. There he garnered a following with outrageous programming that included such features as celebratory moments when another AIDS victim died, which he called AIDS updates. As offensive as these tactics seemed, his popularity at the time of the decline of radio in general was exceptional. In fact, some credit radio talk shows like his with saving AM radio. Rush Limbaugh's popularity is, as indicated earlier, nothing short of remarkable. In addition to his broadcast and print outlets, he is widely accessed on the internet and America Online. So, we already went through all of his, we went through some of it. Like, it's impossible to get all of his fucking controversial takes in 2 hours. We would have to do, like, an 11-hour show. So, As his loyal fans who call themselves Ditto Heads mourn the death of the radio giant, read on to revisit some of Limbaugh's most controversial quotes. Yeah. Oh, he began airing Barack the Magic Negro, a racist parody song about the then Senator Barack Obama's popularity with many white voters in 2007. I think we forgot to mention that. Oh, yeah. Rush Limbaugh's assault on... Wow. He is... How do I describe this? It's like... Rush Limbaugh is like an onion. The more layers you peel, the more stinky it gets. I thought we had covered most of the shit in the past 2 hours. Turns out I was wrong. There are important parts of his incredible history in broadcasting that we had forgotten. In John K. Wilson's book, The Most Dangerous Man in America, Rush Limbaugh's Assault on Reason, the host was quoted as saying this homophobic statement: when a gay person turns his back on you, it is anything but an insult. It's an invitation. Okay. In his Undeniable Truths, written as part of an article for the Sacramento Union in 1988, Limbaugh wrote, feminism was established so as to allow unattractive women access to the mainstream of society. In a later updated version, he wrote, the Earth's ecosystem is not fragile. Women should not be allowed on juries where the accused is a stud. The Los Angeles riots were not caused by Rodney King verdict. The Los Angeles riots were caused by rioters. So different than, contemporary conservative takes. So different. On the Rush Limbaugh Show in 2004, he said, I think it's time to get rid of this whole NBA, the National Basketball Association. Call it the TBA, the Thug Basketball Association, and stop calling them teams. Call them gangs. He later on repeated that with the NFL and famously said that, NFL games look like just Bloods and Crips fighting amongst one another without guns. I wonder why he said those things. I wonder why he said those things, you guys. What could be the reason? As a young broadcaster in the 1970s, by the way, conservatism, very edgy. Remember, this is like, 16-year-olds on the fucking internet on 4chan in 2016 were literally repeating Rush Limbaugh takes from 2004, thinking that they were saying some edgy shit, which is why it's inherently, reactionary movements can never be fucking new age or never be disruptive or against against what is the mainstream agenda, okay? That's why conservatism will never be fucking punk rock, because all you're doing on 4chan is repeating shit that your fucking grandfather said while thinking that you're doing some cutting edge new shit. I guess the only difference is like you call yourself and others autistic. That's the only new thing because your grandfather didn't know what the fuck that meant. I used to watch you a lot, but now I can't handle it anymore. Listening to you cover the news over the horrible state of the world in the U.S. just makes me angry now. Props to you for doing this every day. I don't know how you can cover this shit every day. Well, sometimes you got to have a lighthearted approach to everything that's going on. And also, on top of that, you know, we don't just cover the news. I also do a lot of fucking role play over here. You know, hey, you fucking doing? Fuck you. Are you calling my grandfather an autist? Yeah, imagine if your grandfather, you know, he said all of these things, obviously, just like dipshits on poll. But then you're like, hey, what are you doing, Bertha? You sound like an autist. Like, it's the only difference. I mean, I've asked myself, and I wonder how many older people went undiagnosed. Yeah, 100%. Anyway. As a young broadcaster in the 70s, Limbaugh once told a black caller, take that bone out of your nose and call me back, according to Fair. Wow. During the Rush Limbaugh show in 2013, he said, if any race of people should not have guilt about slavery, it's Caucasians. We already covered that. In 2017, regarding LGBTQ politicians being elected to office, he said, I guarantee there'd be some people in the Republican establishment who will now think, yeah, we need to do this. We need to provide a home. We need to provide a comforting atmosphere for the tranny community and the gay community. But those people are voting Democrat anyway. Okay? What is this quote? Ching cha, ching chang cho cha. Why did you put this as a quote? What is this? Oh, this guy got a medal, dude. This guy literally got a medal. Imagine transcribing this and being like, we should. One of his most famous quotes was "Ching cha, ching chang cho chow." Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, write that down. Limbaugh called Georgetown law student Sandra Fluke a slut and a prostitute after she publicly advocated for universal contraception coverage, and there's many more. Okay. Once again, from this entire 2-hour segment, you could literally just do an entire Hasanabi out of context clip. Okay. Oh. It's the Jenna Marbles song. Yeah. Breaking, Governor DeSantis, Florida threatens to remove COVID vaccine dose from communities and criticize the distribution of it. Oh, nice, dude. That's cool. You got some grays coming, or is that the lighting? No, I do have some gray hairs coming. That's for sure. Not a lot, but I got some grays coming. Bro, I'm 29 years old. I'm going to be fucking 30 this year. You know, it happens. You get old. So let's move on. Millions are suffering through the deep freeze without power. We're going to talk about that briefly. Conservatives are fucking lying about the reason for it.
Relentless winter blast slamming much of the country, George.
Yeah, that's a look at Oklahoma City right now. You see the snow is coming down. It's just...
Title is fucked up, dude. We got it, bro. We got it, you little fucking snowflake bitch. You got your fucking word across, all right? Oh, you're really, really sad. Shut the fuck up.
11 degrees there. Oklahoma, just one of 22 states where the storm is impacting the vaccine rollout. At least 22 states have delayed or canceled COVID vaccinations as more than 3.3 million people are waking up without power this morning across at least 8 states, Michael.
And Texas with the overwhelming majority of those power outages. Just look at most of Houston in the dark. We're going to go to Marcus Moore with the very latest from Dallas this morning. Good morning, Marcus.
Michael, good morning. Another round of wintry weather is hitting an area already paralyzed by that first storm. And this morning, snow and ice covering the region as many people remain in the dark. This morning, Arctic air, power grids.
Why the fuck do they cancel vaccinations? How are they going to vaccinate people, dude? They have no fucking electricity. Like, what do you mean? How are people going to get there? There's no power. There's no heat. There's nothing. The distribution is completely halted because the pipes are fucking frozen. They don't have the infrastructure to deal with extreme weather conditions that are extreme for Texas. Why are they experiencing extreme weather conditions? Well, because of climate change. Ding, ding, ding. You got it right. Okay? So, Texas, and this is our future, by the way. Texas is this is Texas's future. This is the Midwest's future. This is our future if we don't fucking recognize that climate change is happening and take appropriate measures. If you assume that the climate is going to and the weather conditions are going to resemble the past 100 years, the last time the infrastructure was fucking updated, and assume that that's what's going to happen, well, you're going to find yourself in a similar situation year over year over year. It's kind of like saying, well, I'm not going to wear a jacket even though it is snowing outside because there is no snow in the summer. And then you get sick. That is that's the analogy here. People are like, no, climate change is not real. We don't need to take appropriate measures and fix our infrastructure to deal with the upcoming climate apocalypse and weather conditions changing drastically to a degree that our infrastructure can't keep up with. And, it's all fake. It's a Chi-Com conspiracy. And also, it's the windmills. It's the windmills. They're like fans. They're, when you turn on a fan, it makes the room cold. Well, think about it. Think about how massive these fucking fans are. You don't think that they're playing a part in these icy winds taking over Texas? Maybe we should stop these fucking fans from making Texas cold.
Failing and millions left to cope with the bitter cold. Amarillo, Texas getting pummeled with snow overnight. Cars and trucks sliding off the road. Tow trucks out rescuing drivers as temperatures drop near zero. Part of the Lone Star State hitting record low temperatures not seen in a century. And people are cranking up the heat, which is taxing the state's electrical system, leading to cascading power outages and rolling blackouts. This morning, more than 3 million waking up without power.
This is tragic. We hadn't had power since 5 a.m. yesterday.
The cold and loss of power turning deadly. At least 20 people have died, including an 8-year-old girl and a woman, dying from carbon monoxide poisoning after a car was left running in a garage to help create heat. In Houston, hospitals treating at least 140 patients, including a mother.
Yes, 26 of the roughly 30 gigawatts of power lost comes from fossil fuels. So anyone who fucking tells you that, windmills are the reason why there's outages is fucking bullshit. The real reason is because the pipes the pipes are completely fucking frozen. And it's fossil fuels that are the primary energy, the primary form of energy in Texas are failing. Some of the wind turbines are also failing as well, even though they are still overperforming in comparison to gas, coal, and other forms of fossil fuel. So it's fucking bullshit. And even if you were to make the argument that all of the infrastructure is crumbling because this weather condition was something that people did not foresee, then you can't single out wind turbines. You understand? Because wind turbines fucking exist in cold climate. Wind turbines exist in Antarctica. Wind turbines exist in power places in the fucking Alps. They're on top of mountains. They exist as a reliable form of renewable energy in many places around the fucking world, including in the motherfucking Midwest, where it's rainy and icy all the fucking time during the winter. You don't even need to leave America to go to fake countries like Canada to recognize that wind turbines could absolutely be functional in icy weather conditions. Okay? It's so fucking stupid that Texans are, some Republicans all around the country, and especially Texans, are so fucking dumb, Republican Texans, that deny climate change and think this is a consequence of using wind turbines, are so fucking dumb that they literally cannot think about anything beyond what the fuck Tucker Carlson said last night. Yeah, they were functional. The coal infrastructure failed more than the fucking wind turbines did anyway.
Mother and child in critical condition after using charcoals indoors to stay warm. And outrage over images like this. Skyscrapers lit up in Houston while surrounding neighborhoods were left in the dark.
What is going on right now is completely unacceptable.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott speaking to our ABC station, KTRK.
We are going to have to restructure to make sure that situations like this never occur again.
And while Houston's mayor was at home also speaking to KTRK, they were plunged into darkness.
People have made some life and death choices because they were trying to keep themselves warm.
Oh no, we just lost power.
But for the millions bundled up with no electricity, this has been life for days.
In this room in our house, it is 33 degrees.
In Austin, Andrew Leahy and his wife finding...
The worst part is, like, their houses are not built for this, so they don't even have the proper insulation. Like, if you build houses for cold climate, then they would at least have proper insulation that could mitigate some of the problems, right? But the McMansions they build in fucking Texas are not built to insulate in this way because people do not expect this. And this is the same for the entirety of the fucking state. You understand? Because when you build, when you plan cities, when you build infrastructure, and if you deny that climate change is actually fucking happening and that weather conditions that are otherwise considered extreme are now going to become commonplace, you're not going to build the proper safety nets. And then on top of that, we already talked about this, but Texas is outside of the fucking federal grid, the federal power grid, because they wanted to be energy independent in and of itself. They thought that they had enough demand and enough supply for energy, and that they did not want the federal government to control or regulate in any way how they distribute their energy if other states, if bordering states actually need energy in their time of need. And that's the second part of the problem, because other states that have surplus right now can't even fucking pump their energy over to Texas. It's like the most, it is literally just American individualism and American exceptionalism and being, just coming back to fucking bite Texas in the ass in the perfect way possible. And they flail their fucking arms and still somehow try to find a way to misdirect and shit on AOC and shit on fucking the Green New Deal, which is literally an infrastructure deal, okay? To mitigate some of the potential devastating outcomes of climate change while simultaneously shifting over to renewable energy to lower the impact of anthropogenic climate change. But hey, you know, tiny windows, it's bad, it's crazy. So what they're doing is basically taking advantage of a situation that they themselves caused, the devastation, and utilizing that as an opportunity to shit on people that are trying to fix the fucking problem. But what do you fucking expect from conservatives? It's again, American conservatism in general. This is exactly how they work. And unfortunately, they are very, very successful because they operate in unison like a fucking hive mind. And it didn't take a day for these motherfuckers to literally start spreading these lies and this propaganda, as evidenced by the fact that Greg Abbott went on, and I will show you this clip right now if I can find it. Fox News yesterday, I think it was Sean Hannity, to continue lying about the situation at hand and blame. Here it is. Blame windmills. Oh, next vid is in the playlist? Oh, thank you, actually. Never mind. All right. Oh, here it is.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott calling for an investigation into the outages, and he joins us now live to explain. I don't have a problem. I'm going to be very clear. I'm an all-of-the-above guy. Anything that works, I'm all for. Cheap energy, I'm all for. But that would include the lifeblood of the world's economy, gas, oil, old-fashioned oil, and coal. I'm not against nuclear energy either. I'm not against wind turbines. But my question is, if
Stop laughing at people suffering in Texas. They didn't all vote conservative. Okay, we're not, you dumb fuck. Shut the fuck up, you stupid little bitch, okay?
Have these rolling blackouts and you got freezing weather. I mean, and they're not reliable and it's use it or lose it. What good is it?
Sean, this shows how the Green New Deal would be a deadly deal for the United States of America. Texas.
I wonder why. I wonder why it would be a deadly deal. Like, how the fuck do you bring up the Green New Deal in this situation?
This is blessed with multiple sources of energy, such as natural gas and oil and nuclear. But you saw from what Trace said, and that is our wind and our solar got shut down, and they were collectively more than 10% of our power grid. And
wait, I'm sorry. First of all, wrong. And his own regulators, like his own officials. And even his own statement is an admission, by the way. 10%? Really? That's why the entire state shut down, because 10% of the power shut down? False. Regardless, it's completely false. We already talked about it. Energy production from wind turbines was actually overperforming in comparison to other fossil fuel, other forms of other methods of energy from fossil fuels. And again, where was the other 80%, 90%? Yeah, like, and it wasn't even correct. Like, what he's saying is just a lie, okay? What he's doing here, you're overall correct, but 10% loss is enough to fuck over a grid, to be honest. I understand that, but that's not what happened regardless. Especially because it was, there was an energy surplus you could get from wind turbines even yesterday, okay? So that is a complete falsehood that he is just throwing out there, and it fucking owns his own argument that, like, the entire state relies on wind turbines when he says it's only 10%. 10% only fucks over a grid when they try to be energy independent. Exactly.
That thrust Texas into a situation where it was lacking power in a statewide basis. That was power that was spread out by that ERCOT organization that you were talking about. As a result, it just shows that fossil fuel is necessary for the state of Texas as well as other states to make sure that we will be able to heat our homes in the wintertime and cool our homes in the summertime.
Well, and on a second level there, I mean, I've interviewed guys working on the Keystone XL pipeline, and I know, like...
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch. All right, anyway, this is literally a paid ad. Yeah, it should show you something. It should show you the priorities of someone like Greg Abbott, whose first instinct is to go on Fox News and shit on wind turbines instead of, like, trying to fucking figure out how he can deliver power to his own Texans, okay? If you're a fucking dumb fuck Texan Republican and you watch this piece of shit on Sean Hannity in the brief moment that you actually had some fucking, that you had your TV on inside of your house because you weren't sitting in complete darkness because you were lucky enough to maybe get some fucking power in your house and you saw this fucking thing and it didn't anger you to take action, then you deserve to fucking sit in the darkness, okay? Sorry. That's just the fucking truth. You literally deserve to sit in the fucking cold in 30-degree weather inside of your stupid fucking apartment or your house if you literally do not see what the fuck he's doing here, okay? Sorry. That's just the truth. Everyone else that is living in Texas and every single other person that is angered by this, regardless of whether you're a fucking conservative or not, of course you don't deserve it. It's fucking ridiculous. You're fucking over your fellow Texans if you don't have any interest or any, if you don't have any care for, you know, other people outside of Texas because, you know, Texas is his own fucking state, then maybe care about your fellow Texans that you're fucking over with your idiocy. Here's a Crowder and Rubin's horrible take on climate change in Texas. Compiled by Bloomberg, show gas processing plants across Texas are shutting as liquids freeze inside pipes, disrupting output as just as demand jumps. And oil production in the Permian Basin is the biggest U.S. shale play, is moderating as well, slow down or halt completely. None of this is new. Here's what one critic said in 2011. Oh, yeah, this was a massive problem in 2011 as well. What do you think about deregulation? I think it's a huge mistake. I think your big problem in Texas today is that the generating sector has every incentive to keep you on tight rations so they can get more for their money, and it's contrary to the public interest in having an adequate supply to keep the price down. So you've screwed yourself, plain and simple, and I don't think there is any fix short of vertically integrated companies. Wrong link. It's still the wrong link, my friend. You keep sending me the wrong fucking link. ERCOT expected to get low capacity factors from wind and solar during winter peak demand. What it didn't expect is 20 gigawatts of outages, over 20 gigawatts of outages from 36 that you're supposed to get from thermal, mostly natural gas power plants. So their own regulators that are supposed to be, their own regulators that are looking into it, that are looking into where the power outages are coming from, literally say the exact opposite of what fucking Governor Greg Abbott is saying, which is that it's actually gas plants and coal that is responsible for the fucking outages. Anyway, all these elites that are pushing this Green Deal are the ones that are the biggest CO2 emitters with their jumbo plane and 4,000... What? All these elites that are pushing this Green Deal are the ones with the biggest CO2 emitters with their jumbo plane and 40,000 square feet house and shit? Are you fucking stupid, dude? You have to be the dumbest fucking motherfucker I've ever seen. Personal consumption, even if you are personally a fucking carbon... if you have a gigantic carbon footprint as a personal consumer... It's never going to be anywhere near what fucking corporations are doing, and trying to change that is literally like being a millionaire who wants to tax millionaires. You understand? Just because you're a millionaire doesn't mean you shouldn't advocate to fucking tax millionaires. You would be a hypocrite if you were a millionaire and you were like, you know, I don't want to fucking tax millionaires. God damn, what a fucking idiot, dude. Rich Streamer says rich people aren't the problem. No, Rich Streamer says rich people are the problem. Okay? You fucking moron. You absolute buffoon. You simpleton. How do you not fucking comprehend this? Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I am broadcasting out of my 40,000 square foot mansion, and also, you know, flying in my jumbo plane on the weekends. Moron is actually a very ableist word. Yeah, well, sucks to suck, okay? There are levels of ableism that I do not tolerate in my chat, and then there are levels of ableism that I engage in. You understand? So shut the fuck up. Anyway, where were we? How's your coal engine desk chair? Yeah. Hilarious how El Paso and the Panhandle aren't getting fucked because they aren't part of the Texas Interconnect and fixed their shit after the 2011 freeze. Turns out deregulation sucks. Always. Well, this cold wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for Libs trying to bang guns. Okay. Anyway, I don't know where the fucking it takes from I don't know where the takes from the people that you wanted me to watch are. I don't see it on this thread. I don't see it on any thread. I don't know. Oh, here it is.
You think that the climate is changing? Yes. Is it possible that there's man-made climate change? Maybe. Will that have catastrophic results? We can't prove that yet. People don't agree on that.
So you want to wait? You want to wait till Miami is?
Miami's already supposed to be gone, Dave. Do I think that?
Also, you moron! Don't you know that if your house is about to be underwater, you could just sell it and move if you live in Miami? Ugh, God, these people are so dumb. They don't even think about these things. Thank God I, a Ben Shapiro fan, have that covered. Anyway, you guys are starting to be a little annoying about the Nintendo Direct thing. I'm sensing some annoying little fucking chatters. It's 24 minutes out. I'm gonna warn you not to be fucking annoying right now, okay? Just don't make me fucking ban the word Nintendo Direct and shit like that. Maybe we'll watch the highlights later. Arms the nuclear silos in advance. All right, good. Good that the nukes are out and ready. Just know that the nukes are ready and they're pointing at you, okay? Bro, how are you going to explain the nuances of maintaining the electric grid to people who probably believe the wind farms blew cold air onto Texas? I don't know. I don't know. I legitimately don't know. But I'm going to connect Rush Limbaugh to all of this right now, okay? QAnon and all these other conspiracies did not start in a fucking vacuum. You didn't have a bunch of people who were already brilliant and, you know, had media literacy all of a sudden, out of nowhere, decide to believe in psychotic conspiracy theories or stop the steal and shit like that. That happened because of people like Rush Limbaugh. That happened because of people like Steven Crowder. That happened because of Fox News, okay? These professional pundits are breaking your parents every day, okay? They're breaking your parents. They are feeding them misinformation slowly but surely, okay? They're slowly but surely just, you know, increasing little by little the amount of disinformation that your parents are putting into their fucking brains by also hammering on the biases that they already have from the social conditioning that they experience from their time. They hate change. You fucking hammer on that change is bad. Green New Deal is change. You talk about how climate change is actually fake. You get them to deny reality that is right in front of their fucking eyes. Okay? This is how it works. And then, all of a sudden, you have a bunch of fucking people out of nowhere, seemingly out of nowhere, believing in QAnon and shit. That's how it goes. Who the fuck just said the left does it too? Yeah, I wish the left was as effective at propagandizing points of view. The reality is, the left will never be as effective because, one, under a capitalist organization of the economy, those who speak out against capitalism and its devastating outcomes are never going to get the capital necessary to launch successful businesses. Okay? There is a ceiling to this. I sometimes feel like I've reached that ceiling. Okay? And beyond that, in order to educate people or manufacture consent in a leftist way, you need to go up against these massively powerful media conglomerates that already have an interest in normalizing the oppression that most people experience and keep you paying attention to other dumb shit, nonsensical shit, engage in the fucking culture wars. Okay? Ugh. But beyond that, yeah, I don't even know how I've reached this level of success to begin with, if we're being honest. But outside of all of that, the biggest problem that the left faces, beyond the fact that we always have to have grassroots movements and never actually like a magnanimous billionaire. We are going against mainstream thought, no matter what happens. When I describe my worldview to people, I am going against what is something most people consider to be normal, common sense realities. Talking about structural racism, for example. educating people on structural racism, systemic inequalities, wealth inequality, or the negative consequences of the capitalist organization of the economy is going against. It's so fucking insane that it's like going against the notion that the sky is blue. Okay, this is something that you're deeply invested in. It's almost a part of your fucking identity. So trying to educate people on how everything they know and everything they've been taught from their social conditioning is wrong is a very difficult endeavor. It is much easier to just repeat the same fucking talking points that conservatives have utilized in perpetuity. It is easier to be a reactionary than it is to be progressive. Okay? That's just the reality. Because everyone, as a consequence of social conditioning, already grow up with certain things that they believe to be truths, right? And those notions become a part of your identity. That, there is a meritocracy. That if you work hard enough, you will achieve all of the American dream and its offerings. You will achieve success. And that really wealthy people totally deserve all of their wealth. And wealth inequality isn't that big of a problem, as a matter of fact, because those people just worked hard and they worked smart. That black people just simply haven't been able to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. And there is no such thing as systemic inequality. Because recognizing that, especially if you have some form of privilege, if you are a recipient of some kind of intergenerational wealth or an upper hand, then you feel like it's diminishing your accomplishments. And you don't want to fucking feel that way. So yeah, it is very difficult to describe these sorts of things. No matter what. It is much easier to just be like, I can't believe you said you were okay with certain types of ableism. That's really messed up. I understand you're being frustrated, but that doesn't mean you need to support being ableist to the point where you feel comfortable being ableist. Very non-leftist of you. Here is an additionally non-leftist thing for me to do. Delete your bait account from the face of the earth, I hope. I hope that I'm pretty sure that your gray name accounts that you literally create just to, put me down a idiotic fucking tangent, idiotic rabbit hole about, overcorrective wokeness or whatever the fuck. I hope that actually ends up with shadow banning your actual account too. Letting it work? No, letting it work would be for me to continue talking about it, which I'm not. I'm moving on. I'm pretty sure it does, by the way, so don't fuck around with that. It always does, and then they come crying to mods. Yeah, I know. I think you get... I'm pretty sure you get IP banned if you create a bait account specifically for doing shit like that. You really got the worst in both worlds in your audience? Chuds and woke scolding Andes? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway. Sorry for off topic, but I'm curious to hear your response to the Biden town hall if you get time for it, but no big deal if not. Yeah, the Biden town hall is kind of shit. The big takeaway... Oh, here, we're going to watch this. The big takeaway from the Biden town hall is he's saying he wants to do $10,000 in student loan debt relief. And he can't do $50,000 because he doesn't know if it's like something he can do or if it's within his power. And there is no fucking constitutional provision or amendment or anything that says like the president can forego or pardon $10,000 of student loan debt, but not $50,000. The real reason is that he is a fiscal conservative, and he always has been. And that's why he's saying 50,000 would be too much. Why isn't this working? Why can't I hear anything? One state has snow plows, the other doesn't. One side of the street is Texarkana, Arkansas. The other side is Texarkana, Texas. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. There is leadership failure in Texas. Holy shit. Oh, there is no audio. 10K would still change a lot of lives? Yeah, I agree, but 50K would fucking change 5 times the amount of lives then. How about that? Debt relief is great, but isn't it amazing? We get to see biracial couples in ads now. Yeah. Is there no way to cancel student debt progressively like taxes work? I don't want to cancel student debts of rich scumbags that went to Princeton. No, it doesn't matter, dude. No. Some rich scumbags that went to Princeton are going to get fucking student debt relief as well. Like student loan debt relief as well. You're being ridiculous. Like, these sorts of provisions aren't about punishing people that we don't like, okay? They're about making the lives of those who need it better. Do you understand? It doesn't work that way. Rich scumbags are going to be rich no matter what you do. You can't just like literally try to use means testing to harm them or some shit.
But a lot of people are pointing out that you voted against aid for Sandy after that catastrophic storm up in the Northeast, that package back in 2012. And they're pointing at you and saying you're asking for money now when you weren't willing to help the people in the Northeast. What do you have to say to them?
Well, you know, look, there's time for political sniping later.
Oh, there's time for political sniping later? Was there time for political sniping during Hurricane Sandy then, you fucking gargoyle? I hate him so much. I hate him so much. Honestly,
it's not really political sniping, Senator. These are people.
This is from earlier, right? This isn't recent. This is like from when Houston needed aid.
And who needed funding.
This is not from this week.
After that storm, I covered.
Yeah, this is from Harvey. This is from Harvey.
Those people, many of them, just like those in Houston, lost absolutely.
Yeah. This is from flooding in Houston, not recent. Yeah, I know. I actually talked about this because like a lot of Texas is like built on wetlands too, it's any sort of fucking hurricane is going to. Oh, Greg Abbott is talking now. Let's watch Greg Abbott live.
Where we're going, next steps in response to this winter storm. Let me start with this. First is some weather that can be expected over the coming days. The initial and the main storm that has caused the severe damage in Texas is now beginning to move out of the state of Texas. Snow and sleet in northeast Texas will continue to exist, but also gradually move out over the next 6 hours. After that, another round of precipitation will be coming across the state over the next 24 hours. Most of that precipitation will be in the southern part of the state, mostly around I-10 and south, maybe reaching as far north as the Austin area, probably not going much further north than the Austin area. Cold temperatures will remain across much of the state for the next few days. Most of the state will be below freezing tomorrow morning. Along I-10 and north will remain freezing through Thursday night, with ultra cold temperatures once again on Thursday night. We should, across the state, start getting above freezing on Saturday. Many transportation issues across the state on roadways in every region will remain challenging for the next few days. Next is a report from the Public Utilities Commission with regard to power. Since midnight this past night, since 12:01 a.m. this morning, 6,000 megawatts have been added to the Texas grid. That equals about power for about 1.2 million households. Several things have assisted in this. One of the power outages in the state was the nuclear plant project, the STMP, the South Texas Nuclear Plant Project, as well as coal, generated power, were shut down. The part of the additional, let me say it this way, in addition to the 1.2 million households that have had power restored already, there will be additional onboarding that will be coming from the South Texas Nuclear Project, which should begin operations early this morning and will complete operations tonight. And then additional operations will increase from coal-produced power. They will add more than 2,000 megawatts, which will provide additional power for about 400,000 homes in addition to the 1.2 million that I was talking about earlier. In addition to that, there are various small natural gas generators that are currently going on and off. They should sporadically add about 3,000 megawatts over the next 24 hours, and that would equate to about 600,000 homes. As of this time, there continues to be problems with natural gas-fired generators as well as wind generation. About 19,800 megawatts of gas-powered generation is still offline because of either mechanical issues or the lack of the supply of gas for those gas generators to produce power. 17,200 megawatts of renewable generated power remain out either because of freezing of the wind or because of lack of sun for the solar. Some natural gas produced in Texas, and this is, I'm about to tell you a way in which we will be adding more power to our system. Some natural gas produced in Texas is currently being shipped to locations outside of the state. I have, earlier today, issued an order effective today.
Sounds not so independent to me, my guy.
Requiring those producers that have been shipping to locations outside of Texas to instead sell that natural gas to Texas power generators.
This is some real King of the Hill shit, dude.
Increase the power that's going
this is some real King of the Hill shit, by the way. Like,
that will increase the
if only they had a man loyal to the fucking cause of selling propane and propane accessories like Hank fucking Hill, dude.
Multiple phone calls and actions. The White House has assisted Texas with orders that allow additional power generation or have accelerated the nuclear plant restoration. Also, another issue that I will be coming to here shortly is talking to individuals across the state about spikes in the prices of natural gas. There was a telephone conference between the president and several governors across the country in regions most harshly affected by the storms. And during that conversation, a point was raised about these spikes in natural gas prices that occur because of the unusual situation between demand and supply. And a request was made by one of the governors for assistance in dealing with those price anomalies. And the president said that he would work with the governors on trying to address that issue. Let me address where we are with power outages and the way and the whys of how some of that works. Right now, there still remains about 10,000 megawatts that is off the grid and as a result is not contributing to power in the state. People want to know how decisions are made about whose power is turned off and whose power is left on. And I want to let you know how that process works. Decisions about power outages are made by either city-owned utilities or co-op-owned utilities. And it would not be any state-based entity that makes those decisions, except power outages by investor-owned utilities. Those are regulated by the Public Utilities Commission. Those include, for the most part, Oncor, CenterPoint Energy, AEP, and Texas New Mexico Power. And an order has been made to ensure that everybody that is subject to regulation by the PUC will have access to power on at least a rotating basis.
Okay, this is a little sleeper. We're gonna move here. I'll look at the fucking Nintendo event. Did it start? Did the Nintendo event start? I mean, this is a sleeper as fuck. For real, do you think Texans will start to give a fuck about green energy and climate change? No. And the reason why they will not give a fuck is because of people like this.
This great American family is a love story. One man, one woman, and the fires of passion that changed the course of our history. Not since Anthony dined with Cleopatra in downtown Antioch, before they killed themselves, obviously, has a country witnessed a love story as moving and poignant as Jill and Joe's. No, ladies and gentlemen, Jill Biden is not Joe's caretaker. She isn't his nurse. She's his fully equal romantic partner. Together, they are like besotted teens, yet at the same time, they are the wise and knowing parents of a nation. As a headline from Politico on Valentine's Day put it, quote, historians and relationship experts agree. The first couple's romantic gestures aren't just genuine, they're restorative. So it's official. The Biden's affection is totally real. It's in no way part of a slick PR campaign devised by cynical consultants determined to hide the president's senility by misdirection. Not at all. Their love is as real as climate change.
That's why, dude. In a 56-second monologue about how Joe Biden's love or his wife is fake, which is, again, a bullshit story to begin with. Like, why the fuck? If you recognize that, like, it's a bullshit puff piece by the media, then why are you spending so much fucking time on it? Because that's bait for you, okay? That's it. That's literally it for you. It is all that it is. And even in that circumstance, you tie it back to, like, climate change being fake. Just like Tucker Carlson yesterday was running around talking about how fucking what's happening in Texas is happening because of the windmills. All right, it's time for Nintendo, boys. I'm a fucking baby game weeb now, so deal with it. How long is this gonna take? $4 hours? What? No, get the fuck out of here. We're not watching that for 4 hours.
One day, Pyra just disappeared.
As long as it has to. What the fuck is this game? This title is pretty low, dude. What the fuck? Wait, what? You have a problem with Nintendo Baby Game Conference? Oh, man said this title is low because my title is Nintendo Baby Game Conference right now.
It was as if she vanished off the face of all rest. Without a trace.
This is a mobile game, right?
I'll find you, whatever it takes.
Guys, they can't have voiceover.